was the richest man of all times? You might be inclined to think of contemporary figures, people like Warren Buffett or Carlos Slim. Most might quickly point to tech moguls like Bill Gates or even to the e-commerce giant, Jeff Bezos. No question about it, both of these men, with their respective empires, have amassed incomprehensible amounts of wealth. However, their fortunes, vast as they are, do not even begin to approach the wealth of the man and kingdom who holds the title. The answer may surprise you. The richest man in history hails from the land of the Negroes, during a time and place that may seem far removed from the gleaming skyscrapers of today's metropolises. His name is Mansa Musa, the ninth Mansa of Negroland during the time of the Mali Empire. It is important to note that before Mali it was called the Songhai, and before the Songhai it was called the Ghana state. The Ghana state was the first major Israelite empire of Central Africa. It lasted for nearly 1,000 years, from approximately 300 AD until late in the 13th century, when the Empire of Mali assumed dominance. Towards the end of the Ghanaian Empire, it was subjected to the advent of Islam when the Ghanaian king, an Israelite by birth, converted to the Muslim faith after an invasion of the people of the north. The Islamic Israelite kings then paid tribute so that they could stay in power. During the time of Mansa Musa, Negroland represented the area between the region of Guinea and Sahara Desert, east-west axis of the Niger River, and the west facing the coast. The region encompassed parts of modern-day countries such as Mali, Niger, Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal, and others. Within these territories, different ethnic groups and kingdoms existed, each with its own distinct cultural identity. Mansa Musa, king of Mali, inherited his wealth from the kings before him, who also controlled the gold coast of Negroland. Its gold-filled coffers, extensive landmass, and command over trade routes were all factors that made it the wealthiest kingdom to have ever existed, and Mansa Musa the wealthiest king in history. Mansa Musa was the ruler of Mali Empire, the West African Negro land state which, during his reign, stretched from the Atlantic Ocean to the outskirts of the Sahara Desert. Known as one of the richest men in history, his kingdom bore significant importance in the world at that time. He was born in the late 13th century into a world vastly different from ours, a world that today we can only imagine. Negroland was a place of great cultural wealth, an epicenter of learning and trade, the crossroads of Africa. Mansa Musa was more than just a ruler. He was a visionary, a man with grand dreams for Negroland. His reign was marked by prosperity, growth, and an impressive expansion of his territories. His kingdom included significant cities of the epoch, such as Timbuktu and Gao, becoming a beacon of trade and scholarly pursuits. Under his rule, the Mali Empire was a hub for culture, knowledge, and commerce. The Mali Empire was one of the strongest and largest empires in Africa. It is estimated to have had 50 million people in 1314. His leadership was transformative, shaping the Mali Empire into a towering symbol of West African might and grandeur. His reign, characterized by an abundance of gold, architectural marvels, and scholarly enlightenment, attracted attention from far and wide. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage to Mecca, generously spreading his wealth along the way, put him on the world map, etching his name in the annals of history. After ruling for more than 2 decades, Mansa Musa's reign came to an end in 1337. His legacy, however, lives on, reminding us of a time when the land of the Negroes stood tall amongst the nations of the world, flourishing under the rule of one of its wealthiest leaders. The route to his unfathomable wealth was paved by gold and salt. This pathway, the yellow brick road of his vast kingdom, was not made with ordinary bricks, but with solid gold and shimmering salt. The Mali Empire of Negroland sat resplendently like a majestic jewel, nestled snugly between the sprawling salt mines of the Sahara-abundant gold mines of West Africa. The sprawling Sahara, with its inhospitable and daunting terrain, was no mere desert, but a treasure chest with veins coursing with valuable salt. This salt, an essential commodity in those times, was more than a mere seasoning. It was a means of preserving food, a valuable trade item, and a sign of wealth. To the north of Negroland, stretching as far as the eye could see, lay these salt mines akin to seas of white gold. Towards the south, there were gold mines. Plenty and bountiful, these mines were like gushing rivers of liquid sunshine. Gold, the symbol of unending prosperity and wealth, flowed from these mines, adding to the coffers of the Negro kingdom and making the Mali Empire an epicenter of trade and commerce. This advantageous position of the Mali Empire, a bustling hub between the two mines, provided Mansa Musa an unprecedented opportunity. He tightly controlled the trade routes, levying taxes on all goods that passed through his dominion. Through the clever manipulation of this trade, he successfully managed to amass a fortune unparalleled in the annals of history. This fortune, a testament to his strategic acumen, was built by meticulously controlling and taxing the trade of these two precious commodities. But how rich were the Negroes of Negroland and Mansa Musa? Well, let's delve deeper to truly understand the magnitude of his wealth. In the annals of history, the name Mansa Musa stands as a monolith of opulence and grandeur. As the emperor of the prosperous West African Mali Empire, his wealth was so expansive, it transcended conventional estimations. Historians and economists alike have tirelessly grappled with the task of quantifying the kingdom's fortune. Their collective consensus: it's simply impossible to label this wealth with a definitive numerical figure. The scope of the riches was so immense, so astronomical that it's beyond the reach of modern comprehension. Consider this for a moment. Some estimates, using complex calculations and adjustments for inflation, suggest a mind-boggling figure. In the currency of today's world, Mansa Musa's fortune alone would amount to a staggering $400 billion. This number is not merely a head-spinning total, it's a galaxy of wealth. In comparison, the net worth of today's wealthiest individuals pales significantly. Even the richest among them, the Bezos and the Gates of our era, their fortunes are merely dwarfed by Mansa Musa's. It's a testament to the sheer scale of his wealth, a wealth that transcends time and outshines contemporaries. But how does such a number impact our understanding of wealth? It redefines it. It's a figure so vast it challenges our perception of wealth and prosperity. The richness of Mansa Musa was not just monetary, it was historical, cultural, and monumental. His wealth wasn't just treasure. It was a testament to a time of growth and prosperity. And yet, at the end of the day, all we can do is estimate, speculate, and marvel at the wealth of Mansa Musa. Again, some estimates suggest that in today's terms, his fortune would be worth around $400 billion, dwarfing the wealth of today's richest individuals. Mansa Musa's wealth wasn't just in his vast reserves of gold and salt. His affluence was a well-rounded composition of material treasures, intellectual wealth, and profound generosity. Deeply committed to ensuring the prosperity and richness of his empire, Mansa Musa wasn't just a ruler, he was a philanthropist, an advocate for the arts, and a promoter of education. His reign saw a significant flourish in culture and learning for all Negroes. This wasn't by accident, but the result of his generous patronage. Sponsorship extended to artists, sculptors, architects, and scholars alike, a continuation of the excellence of Negroland as a vibrant hub of creativity and intellectual vigor. The arts and education weren't just hobbies for the elite in his rule, they were intrinsic parts of society, appreciated and promoted by everyone, from the highest echelons to the common man. His actions resonated far beyond his own borders. In the year 1324, Mansa Musa embarked a pilgrimage to Mecca in Saudi Arabia. Mansa Musa and his wife Queen Inari Conte left Mali with a caravan of around 60,000 people. They traveled with 100 camels, each camel carrying about 300 pounds of gold. Accompanied by a caravan of thousands, he traveled across deserts and cities, generously spreading his wealth along his path. Gold, the physical embodiment of his affluence, was distributed with a free hand, touching lives and winning hearts. On the flip side, because this pilgrimage was a grand showcase of the vast riches of Negroland, life within the kingdom would forever be changed. Tales of Mansa Musa's legendary wealth soon stretched far and wide. Yes, throughout history, Europeans were interested in and sought access to the Gold Coast, but could never find it. From this point onward, the Gold Coast became a focal point for European trade and colonial activities, leading to the establishment of various European trading companies and, eventually, the colonization of the region, and eventually the transatlantic slave trade. Overall, the quest for access to the wealth of the Gold Coast was a significant motivator for European exploration, trade, and colonial expansion in West Africa, and sadly also played a significant role in the European engagement with the slave coast, as enslaved Africans were captured and transported to the Americas from the region. All in all, we can learn, Mansa Musa's influence extended beyond his wealth. A man of many facets, he was not just a king adorned with unimaginable riches, but also a visionary leader. His leadership style was unique, defined by a grand vision for his kingdom and a deep appreciation for the arts and education. Every decision he made was not simply for the present, but with an eye on the future. His foresight was evident in his commitment to education, a commitment that was far ahead time. He saw the transformative power of knowledge and made it a cornerstone of his reign. It was this vision that made him a pioneer among his contemporaries. Not only was he a visionary, but he was also a great builder. His passion for architecture was evident in the magnificent structures that dotted Negroland. Each edifice was a testament to his grand vision, his commitment to artistry, and his insatiable desire to leave a lasting legacy. Among the many architectural wonders that he commissioned was the renowned University of Sankore in Timbuktu. This wasn't just another building, it was an institution that turned the city into a beacon of learning. The university was a hub of intellectual discourse, attracting scholars from all corners of the Negro diaspora who flocked to this enclave of enlightenment. Such was his impact that even today his legacy lives on in the city of Timbuktu. His leadership transformed the city into a center of learning and culture that attracted scholars from all over the Negro diaspora. Mansa Musa also is known for sending a charter to the Americas before Columbus. This claim often relies on interpretations of maps, artifacts, and oral traditions, although some claim that this assertion lacks solid historical evidence. Proponents of these theories suggest that there are cultural and architectural similarities between Mali and certain Native American cultures that undeniably links early Negro influences to the Americas. So let's review and sum it up. Mansa Musa's wealth was not only immense but also transformative. He used his fortune to foster education, culture, and trade in his kingdom for all Negroes. His wealth and influence extended far beyond Negroland, leaving a legacy that still echoes in the annals of history. Look beyond the tales of modern-day billionaires to the pages of history, and there you'll find a king who, in wealth and influence, surpassed them all. And that is the story of Mansa Musa, the richest man of all times.